Hey girl, hey. Hey boy, hey. Welcome back. It's Mama Beauties here. Welcome to What's Up Wednesday. This is the day that you get the updates on the cases that we can cover, the ones that we actually have an update a week later because some things are stagnant. And that goes for the Allison Watterson case, you guys. I'm really devastated about that case. I just want to know if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You are welcome here. This is a place where we do not hate, we participate, we articulate, we speculate, and if somebody is a bully, we will regulate. So hit that bell so you get notified, hit that like button if you don't mind, and welcome to the community. This is a night where Wednesdays we just talk about the true crime that we cover on Tuesdays and Thursdays and the things that we have covered in the past. Hi, Haley. Hi, Brandy. Maria. Oh, I'm glad you like them, Maria. I'm glad you received them. Yes, I am quick on the shipment, y'all. So if you want to attend one of my pop-up shops, Maria M. right there in the chat is valid reference that I do send your inventory. I am not a scammer, no matter what you heard. I am prompt about my business. This is the way I pay my bills. And so in order for me to be able to stay at home and homeschool my son and give my son's ADHD and his Asperger's, aka high functioning autism, the undivided attention that it needs, I have to get my at-home hustle on. And I do that through Mary Kay and Rarity Nails. And if you don't want to wait for the pop-up shop on Friday, you can order from the link down below. There is my Mary Kay link, which is a website, and my website for the Rarity Nails, which are just these regular 100% real nail polish strips. You just take off the back of the board. They're like stickers. You stick them on, file downwards, or cut with scissors, however you want to do it, whatever's easiest for you. And bada bing, bada boom, you've got beautiful nails for a week to 2 weeks, however long, depending on how hard you are on nails. But they're only $5 a pack. They're always buy 8, get the 9th one for free, and you can choose over 225 different kinds on the website below. On the pop-up shop, I normally only have anywhere from 50 to 100 selection, but I do have quite a selection. So get with us on Fridays if that's something you're interested in. And hi, everyone. Life of Yvonne and Becca. Hey, girl. I'm glad you got them. I also need an address for Tina Ward. I've got to get your nails mailed to you. I know you're in the UK. It's just going to take a little bit longer because we don't send it with tracking unless you pay for that in the pop-up shop. I did find out what it costs to send to Norway, Australia, the UK, whatever. It's a $15 flat fee. So the nails are only $5 a set and the shipping is $15. So you figure it out if it's worth it or not. No pressure. But that's what the post office said, $14.95 to get it to all of those places. Now, let's get to some updates so we can bring Brandy on and we can just chat and hang out as girlfriends and just have us a good old Wednesday night. I got to wet my whistle with some sweet tea. Again, there are no updates on Allison, you guys. I'm just devastated about that. There's a Facebook group where they're continuing to share. This is the precious little girl that was last seen with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's in jail on unrelated charges. He waited 30 hours until after she was last seen to report it to the police. So there's a lot of missing pieces to the puzzle there. I just want to get it out there. This happened in North Plains, Oregon. And at 7:30 on Friday, January 10th, they're going to have a candlelight vigil for her. So if you're in that area and you can make it to that, that would be awesome. If you have any details on Allison and you're from the Oregon area, or you think you have a tip that the law enforcement might want to hear, then please call 503-846-2700. Now, The next twist and turn to the Lori Vallow case and her precious missing children. We don't even want to say her name. We'll just say, and we'll say her precious missing Joshua Vallow and Taylor Ryan. Their names should be shouted to the rooftops. And these Chad and Lori doesn't even need anybody saying their names again. So I'm just going to say these horrible parents instead of their names. So these horrible parents have been on the run ever since they sent law enforcement on a wild goose chase locating their children. They said that we're staying with extended family. Oh, thank you, Haley Ryan. You're so precious. So they said that their children were staying with extended family when their other extended family actually sent law enforcement to their house to check on the children's welfare because no one had seen them since September. Well, they are saying that they went over there and they gave them this bogus story. And then when law enforcement found out it was bogus, they went back with the search warrant and they were gone. And they've been on the run ever since. No one can find these parents. No one can find these children. Come to find out, the parents are newlyweds and he's just a stepdad to these children. And his wife mysteriously dropped dead just 2 weeks before they got married. Her husband mysteriously was shot by her brother, who mysteriously dropped dead just less than a month ago. And this story just has so many twists and turns. And the information that I got on that one was that the divorce papers from the husband that was shot by her brother, he had filed for divorce less than 5 months before he got killed, but abruptly had quickly stopped divorce proceedings. We don't know why, because he's dead. But in those divorce papers that have been dug up, it says that Charles, which was the man that was murdered, said that Lori told him that she was a god with a little g, and that she was going to kill him just months before she did kill him. He says this in his divorce paperwork, and that she had threatened to kill him, allegedly. And that he did end up months later dying at the hands of Lori's brother. And he had wrote in the divorce papers that Lori had apparently lost interest in Joshua, their son that they had adopted when he was a baby. And that is the missing 7-year-old little boy, Joshua Vallow. So he says in these divorce papers that have surfaced that she's lost interest in the children and all she cares about is this grand mission that she thinks that God is sending her on because the world's going to end in July of 2020, you guys. So she's in this huge cult. They all think the world's going to end in July of 2020. So I'm so concerned about these children. God only knows where they could possibly be as this rabbit hole gets deeper. Then the new husband, whose wife mysteriously died 2 weeks earlier, had a niece who became part of this movement, cult, whatever you want to call it. And she abruptly wanted to divorce her husband, Brandon. And as soon as they started filing for divorce, right before the divorce came, he had a drive-by shooting that hit his passenger side window. And he believes that these parents of these missing children, the stepdad and the actual mother, had something to do with that as well. So there's just bodies in their path. Her first husband, Taylor Ryan, who is around 17, the daughter that's missing, he actually died mysteriously young as well. I don't know if he was married to Lori when it happened, but he did die mysteriously of a heart attack. So it's just, the tangled web is insane. And he tried to get her medical attention, he says in these divorce documents, for her delusions of thinking that she's a god. And she refused for fear of them finding out that she is a transient being. And I don't know what that means. So if somebody else could help me understand that. Is that an alien? Is she saying she's an alien? She didn't want to go seek medical help for all of her delusions according to the divorce paperwork, because she said she did not want them to find out or expose the fact that she is a transient being. And I don't even know what that means. So, that was number 2. Her deceased husband had, prior to this, filed for sole custody, stating that her mental stability was hindering her from making decisions for their adopted son Joshua, because he is on the spectrum like my son. He had autism and ADHD. That's what Gage has. And they are a lot to handle. They do not like change. They like to have a schedule. They are visual learners. They are sensitive to light and hearing and textures. And so it says that in these divorce papers that she took, when he went on a business trip, that she came in and took some of his and this 7-year-old boy's stuff, and some of the things that she took and was refusing to give back to him before he was killed was Joshua's medication and his iPad. And the iPad is like a virtual babysitter for all parents of children of this nature, because they will not like lose focus. They will be good and sit still if you give them an iPad. So it was really something that was hurting him. She was trying to hurt him by taking the iPad and his medications. That is just really messing up a kid, especially if it's something that they take every day and you just abruptly stop. That's not good. That could cause seizures, lots of issues. So it said that in this divorce paperwork that suddenly was just stopped right before this ex was murdered, and that she deprived him of those things. And then where's my other? And the grandparents came forward this last Tuesday in a press conference and said that there is a $20,000 reward for information leading to the kids, you guys. So maybe YouTube can get together. I know a lot of people are reporting on this story, and that Joshua Vallow and Taylor Ryan need to be found. So now that there's money involved, hopefully people can come forward and say what they know. And again, Taylor's father died too of a sudden heart attack. So it's just all too weird. And way too many people have been hurt by this couple. So I just pray that they are found soon. So the next thing I'm going to report on is, or give you an update on, is Heidi actually, there a little bit of information came out about the Heidi case. They are saying that this Megan girl that killed Heidi and that is in jail for messing with her body, the girl whose car the body was found in the back seat of, they're saying the way that they found her was that they had heard from Shane's father that when Margot was born, the baby she kidnapped, that Shane's father was holding Margot, and Megan came and just interrupted and injected herself and said, hey, let me hold her, and took the baby from Shane's grandfather and said that she had to leave. But she thought that she was more important. She wanted to hold her first before the grandfather. So that was a red flag for everybody, and everyone thought that was weird. So they said that she told what had happened is that Megan came and lived with Heidi for a little while, just for a few days, while she had the baby, and helped her out with everything. And they gave her a key to her house, and she was supposed to leave the key on the table on one of the last days that she stayed there. But of course she did not. So Megan had a key to Heidi's house that she had given her when she was staying there, when she was in the delivery room with her after she had the baby. And then later on, when she went home around December 8th or 9th, Shane couldn't really remember. He said that's when Heidi said, or Megan said, that she had had her baby at a birthing center. So she told all her friends. We all know that Margot was born on December 1st. Well, she told all of her friends that her baby was born on December 8th or 9th at a birthing center. And they also found on her computer that she had searched in her arrest affidavit. It said that she searched for reasons for an Amber Alert the day of Heidi's disappearance. So they never really even did an Amber Alert for Margot, but she was searching about one. And she searched some form of Heidi from November 11th, which is a month before her murder and disappearance, to December 18th, when she got caught, 162 times. So she was obsessed with Heidi, you guys. She wanted Heidi's life. She had been searching her for a month straight, 162 times. And then on December 14th, the day after she went missing, she searched bodies found in Austin, Texas. Wonder what she was searching that for. She already knew she had her in the trunk of her car and had the car backed all the way up into the garage. So it was just weird that she searched that, knowing she had a body in her trunk. Also, her phone, and the police easily found her because her phone had pinged near Heidi's apartments that morning that she came up missing. So and the way that I have heard that this happened, and I did say this when we all didn't know what had happened. I did say that she could hide a pregnancy if the father and her weren't together. I did say that Megan could have gotten away with faking a pregnancy and living with the baby daddy if they weren't together and he didn't want to have sex with her, basically. You know, if they weren't intimate, then he wouldn't know about the belly. And she obviously gained a bunch of weight. So if he was physically looking at her, it would look like she was pregnant. So what had happened is Megan and her boyfriend, Chris Green, had broken up. They weren't together anymore. He didn't want to be with her, but Megan had told him that she was pregnant to hold on to him, and they lived together. So he felt bad. He didn't want to kick out his future baby mama into the streets. And so he allowed her to stay there, but he worked out of town a lot. So she had the house to herself a lot. It is alleged that she went to the apartments that morning. A neighbor saw Heidi with Margot in her hands walk over to Megan's car and get in the front seat. It is alleged that she gave her a Starbucks. There's no telling what she said to her. She probably acted distraught. Heidi thought she was just going to sit there. She didn't think she was going to drive off. She was just going to talk her friend down or whatever, and gave her the Starbucks, and that would make her sleep, okay, and groggy. And at that point, she would already have a car seat in her car because she already supposedly had a baby, and she would have told Heidi that the baby was with Chris because that was supposed to be the father. So then she goes home with Margot to the ex-boyfriend's house that she lives with, and she says that she has had this baby while she's out of town at the beach with her friends, and that she had it at a birthing center, and this is our baby to him. So then the police start surveying them and looking at their house, and they see Chris at the store buying formula. And so they stop him on the way out the store, and they ask him, hey, look, have you seen this baby? And they show him the picture of Margot, and he says that it looks like the baby that's at my house. And then they asked him, hey, well, did you see her pregnant? And he said, well, no, I felt her stomach one time and it got hard. It felt hard and she was gaining a lot of weight, but we were not intimate like that. So I never saw her bare belly. And so they went back to the house. They saw Megan outside. That's when they asked her. She said it was her baby, but she didn't remember the birthing center that she had it in, the name of it, and that the only people were there were employees. So that's when they had to take the baby and have the baby DNA tested because this woman was saying that it was her baby. And that's all we know about that right now. We will be getting more information soon. Now, the Kevin Bacon murderer will be allowed to plead insanity, you guys. This murderer will not be named. I'm not going to ever say his name. But he did tell his public defender that he believed that there is an international conspiracy to steal his money and rob him of his power. And this is the man that killed precious Kevin Bacon that was one of Jeffree Star's subscribers. He had beauty killer tattooed around his neck here and was a hairstylist. He was going to school to study psychology. He met this man on Grindr. He ended up stabbing him in the back, slitting his throat, hanging him upside down from the rafter of his house, and consuming his testicles. So it is a really, really hard, gory, disgusting murder, and he is able to plead insanity, they're saying. And that Grindr has vowed to willfully work with the police in any of future investigations because there was like some kind of discrepancy about them not working with them as fast as they should have. But those are all the updates on anything that I have so far. And we are going to have Brandy come on. Come on, girl. Can y'all hear me? Oh my God, I've had the headphones plugged in the whole time. Can y'all even hear me? You know you're loud when you have headphones sitting down on the table and it picks you up. Could everybody hear me? Was anyone listening to tell if you could hear me? Okay. Let me change it to this. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yay, girl, you know that you have a loud voice that carries because I had my whenever you can plug in a set of headphones and tell your whole beginning of your live with the headphones plugged in. That is crazy.
Well, I heard you loud and clear.
That is crazy. Maybe I should do that every time so people don't think I'm so loud. That's funny. Well, how are you, sister?
I'm pretty good. I can't see the chat, so.
Oh, no. I wonder why. It let you see it last time?
Yeah.
Maybe it takes just a minute. Did it let you see it last time right away?
Yes.
Weird. You want me to pull you back out and put you back in? Let me try that.
Hold on. Hold on. I think it's coming up.
Yay. That is so
there we
funny.
Go.
Y'all heard every word. Yay. It's great. That's great.
Hi, Maria.
How's everybody in the chat tonight? Ooh. Both me and Brandy had spaghetti tonight. Great minds think alike, girl.
Oh, yeah. It was good spaghetti, too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody's talking. I want to update about Harley Dilly.
Yeah,
Harley
go
Dilly.
ahead. I would love to hear that.
Okay, so we haven't found him yet. There is another group that is Port Clinton residents, and they have been attacking Critical K and all of us that are in that chat, or not in that chat, but in that group, and saying that we're all a bunch of losers and stuff. So Critical K came out with a video, I think it was yesterday or day before, and it is so funny. You guys gotta watch it. She goes off on him.
I got a notification for her live, so yeah, I'll have to go check that out.
Oh, it's funny. It really is.
They're mad at you guys for getting the word out there. So is this a troll group, or this is someone close to Harley?
It's somebody close to the mother. And you know, this guy, Nathan, if you go in there and you say anything against the mother, he calls your job and tries to get you fired.
Okay, tell me a little bit of backstory about the mother and Harley.
Okay, so the mother is batshit crazy. She complains about a heart condition and she's on meds, and she's even posted on her Facebook that she doesn't love her kids the way she's supposed to. In Harley's videos, you can always hear her saying, "Shut up." She's even posted that on her Facebook that Harley won't shut up. I mean, she's a piece of work, and she went and got her nails done right after he disappeared.
So she's not very concerned about, she's putting it on her, the spotlight on her, and taking it off of her missing son.
Pretty much, yeah. It's all about her. She hasn't really talked to the media, and when she did, she had crocodile tears, and she was talking about how sick she was and that she needed him there so that when she went to the doctor, she had somebody's hand to hold. And she also said that she talked to him that morning but didn't see him.
Oh, you did tell me that. I remember that.
Yeah, and how did she know what he was wearing that morning then?
Yeah,
you know, there's just a bunch of questions. The dad hasn't said anything to anybody. He won't talk to anybody. But we also know that he called off of work that day, and he has a garbage truck that he brought home because he said he had to get rid of the couch, and he turned the GPS off.
Wow.
So that's a new development. Also, the mother, Heather, she claims she left her phone at home, so they can't ping where they went.
Are the mother and father still together?
Yes.
Oh.
The other things that we have found out is, she went out to have drinks and dinner. If you're on heart medication, is it smart to be drinking?
Nothing she says.
Yeah, nothing she says is adding up.
Because it thins your blood, and alcohol thins your blood as well. So I don't think you're allowed to drink on like that kind of stuff.
Well, she's refusing to take a lie detector test because of her heart problem. And the father is refusing. They just lawyered up too. And the lawyer says that if there's any kind of slander going on in any of the groups, they're going to sue.
Oh, please. People always say that. We heard Frankie say there's nothing you can do about these things, that they've been trying to get these stuff taken down for the Shanann and the Watts stuff, and they can't. So it's all people it's endless threats. But Remy said that he got a link to a group this morning, and they blocked the person. Aren't you already in the group, Remy? I'm pretty sure that I sent you nails and everything to give to your wife. So
I didn't send anything.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been from us. So it's okay that you blocked them. Yeah, that is crazy, Brandy.
Yeah, I mean, it just keeps getting creepier and creepier. It really does. They also. Oh, go ahead.
It's like it's almost as creepy as the other one that's just a rabbit hole that won't stop. The Josh Vallow and Haley Ryan.
Oh yeah, that one's crazy too. The picture on the police flyer is like 2 years old. They just updated a picture recently. So we're looking for a kid that doesn't even look like the kid. I mean, in that one picture, he looks really skinny, like his face. In the updated picture, he has kind of a chubby face. So
they don't even
that would
have
have been nice to know.
They don't even have a recent picture?
Now they do.
Okay.
But they didn't before. And also we were looking at the surveillance, and we don't think that's him. He came home, or he only did half a day on Thursday and went to a friend's house. So we're thinking when he went home, there was something that happened there. We don't think that anybody's even seen him Friday.
What town is this in?
Oh, it's Port Clinton, Ohio.
Oh, Ohio. So do you think that the law enforcement is just not adequate enough? Have they called in like FBI or CBI or anybody bigger than themselves?
The police department is a joke. Heather's dad, the mom, used to be a police officer. So we kind of think that there's some scandal going on there. The FBI and the missing children came, but it doesn't seem like anything's happening. They did search a quarry that's nearby. They found a shoe, but the mother says it's not his. Okay. But I don't believe anything she says.
Yeah. Oh, those quarries are scary. People try to get me to swim in those all the time, and I'm like, oh no, you have lost your mind.
Oh, Judy, we're talking about Harley Dilly. He's a 14-year-old YouTuber that went missing on December 20th.
Whose parents are being very, very suspect.
Oh, definitely. The other stuff that's going on is there's a bunch of mediums that are doing like tarot readings, and there's even a schizophrenic medium. I don't know. He has these dreams and writes them down. It's really weird because before they went to the quarry, he wrote down gypsum, and that's where the quarry is. He also wrote a phone number down, and this Walmart thing keeps popping up, and I guess he's a friend of his family. He works at that Walmart.
Wow.
So there was another reading from another medium last night, and she pulled the first two cards she pulled said buried and dismember. So we're all still praying, but honestly, we're all kind of thinking that he's not alive.
That's sad. Did I mute you?
Oh, Rebecca, are you in there too? Because I know some people went and looked across the street from the quarry. There's like an abandoned church there, and they wanted to go see if he was in there. But I guess there's a bunch of sinkholes there. I don't know. Maybe he fell in one and he's been in there. I have no clue. So there's a lot of speculation going on, but it's kind of piecing together. I honestly think the parents did something. I think the dad did something and the mom's covering for him.
I forgot it was Becca that wanted me to swim in the quarry. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. That is just crazy. They need to force them to take a lie detector or something. Put them in jail if they don't. Can you do that, or is that against the law?
I'm not sure. They just did that and then they lawyered up. And Rebecca, I have no idea why the mom doesn't care. I mean, I'm sick. I did my survivor story. You all know how sick I am. And I swear to God, if my kid ended up missing, I'd go to the depths of hell to look for him. I mean, I would be taking the lie detector. I would be going door to door all day and all night. I would reach out to all the media to try and get my story out there. And, you know, the media tried to talk to her the other day and she said, no comment.
I mean, Allison's mom is still all over, you know, trying to get these searches going on foot. She's doing everything she can. I mean, that's a grieving mother with a missing child. And her daughter's only 20. And this young man is even younger than that. And she's not even caring. Does she have her own Facebook group trying to get the word out there?
She's in that Port Clinton one.
But she didn't make it, correct?
No, and she only talks about herself. I mean, she doesn't even talk about Harley. Maria, about if there was any neglect or abuse, not reported by the school. Now, family, friends, and even family have said that there was abuse. But they didn't elaborate on it, like whether it was physical, it's probably mental. They also said they believe he ran away to get away from them. He was tired of it.
True. And that's always a possibility with all of these young people, that they're just gone to get away. Oh,
yeah. But it's weird because, I mean, honestly, all of us mamas and even our, you know, daddies would do anything to find their child, and these people won't do anything. You know, there's neighbors and stuff that are going door to door with his flyers. They even drive around with a stack of flyers in their car to hand out. The parents should be doing that.
I agree.
You know, in Kay's group, we're all trying to figure out what we can do, you know, to help. And here you got that other, you know, group that's like, oh, I want to send them dinner. I'm sure they haven't eaten and stuff. And it's like, you know, this is about Harley, not the mom. And they're always asking how she's doing.
Allison's group, they're begging people that have at-home businesses to send out a flyer in there, because now they've had enough time to be all over the United States. They could be anywhere. So they haven't stopped. They just made their search wider. And this mom seems to be like, oh, he's not here, so we don't need to look any further.
The thing that I'm worried about is the 4-year-old.
There's another kid?
Oh, yeah, there's a 4-year-old. Harley's sister had a baby, and they adopted the baby. I don't know what kind of judge would give him the baby, but his name's Rory, and in some of Harley's videos, you can hear them screaming at him and calling him a dumbass.
How many subscribers did Harley have?
Right now, because Kay goes, what if he's, you know, waiting for 1,000 subscribers? You know, we talked about that before. She's like, I'm grasping at straws here. So we all went and subscribed. So he has over 1,000 subscribers now. One of the psychics said something about 1/9/20. And so we thought maybe he'd come home, and he hasn't. So we're out of ideas.
What about how long has he been posting on there?
For a long time. He has a huge social media presence. Really? He has Twitter accounts. He's on Steam. I guess it's a gamer site. He's on, you know, YouTube. He's on Facebook. He is really, really involved in social media. And nothing has been posted since he's been gone.
What was the last thing he posted? Do you remember?
Something about one of the games, like Maiden or something.
Oh. Devastating. Well, we're just going to keep covering it and keep putting our heads together and just keep putting pressure on this woman if she ain't acting right.
Oh yeah. I mean, even on my Facebook page, I, post updates and stuff. I'm going to do an update on my blog tonight. I mean, we don't know what to do anymore. It sounds like Kay has been reaching out to family to get some more information. We're just kind of at a loss. We have all of our suspicions. Like I said, there was a group of people that wanted to go check this church. It's just, either he was kidnapped and he's somewhere, or human trafficking, or he could have self-harmed because, he was talking about that other YouTuber that died.
Yeah.
Or, he could be dead. His last name.
I have a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old boy, and I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine. And for her to go get her nails done. I mean, I understand people grieve differently, and maybe she just needed to heal, or I go get a tattoo when somebody dies because I'm in so much pain the very next day that I just want to, feel the pain of the tattoo. And that's how I heal, is through that. And, but I just blows my mind that this woman is just chilling in her own group. Did she start a GoFundMe?
No, somebody else did. And the GoFundMe was actually for reward money. It's up to $17,000 now.
Well, that's good that it's for reward money, but it's just crazy that she hasn't started her own group to find, and she hasn't, I don't know. It's just sketchy.
No, she sits at home all day. She doesn't even go and look. And she claims that the father goes and looks in the evening. So who knows? Patty, Harley's last name is Dilly, Dilly.
Judy, I'm so sorry about your son passing away. I'm so sorry, sister. We are here for you. If you ever want to share, if you just want to email me and talk to just me, I will keep it private. Whatever you need. There's other people here that are willing to give out their email. I am so sorry. I can't even imagine what that's like. Oh.
I missed it. What happened?
She said my only son died 7 years ago. Bless her.
Oh my God. Yes, we're all here for you. We are all here for you. Patty, where in Ohio? He also stated that he didn't feel good, and she made him go to school anyway, and it was 18 degrees outside. So that kind of shows you what kind of mother she is.
He had to walk?
Yep, he had to walk to school. And he had sweats and tennis shoes on and a puffy maroon jacket.
And that's the last time he was seen, was walking to school.
According to that surveillance. But he looks really skinny in that one. And like I said, his updated picture, he looks a little, I don't want to say chubby, but he looks like he's got some meat on his bones. So
he's well fed.
We don't know if that was him or not. So that's the update on Harley.
It's so devastating. Yeah, hopefully next Wednesday we'll have so much better news. How are you feeling, Brandy? How's everything going with you?
I'm doing pretty good. I have my days.
Are you? How often do you have to see a doctor?
I go see a doctor tomorrow.
Do you?
I'm supposed to keep up with the doctor like every 2 weeks, just so they can make sure my meds are working.
Still, that's got to be a lot of pressure to, have to plan your life around your 2 doctor's appointments every month and everything that your children are into and all of that. So,
yeah, I signed up to go to a field trip with my son to the art museum. I'm hoping, that's on the 25th. So I'm hoping I'll feel good to be able to go. Because I had signed up for another field trip and I couldn't go. So
that's just part of something that you've had to adjust to in your life, and you can accept it, and it's not a surprise to people. You said you sat down with the school before, so you shouldn't feel bad if you can't make it.
Oh yeah, I talked to the principal and I talked to the counselor, and I didn't want the boys to get in trouble for missing school. And so I went ahead and let them know I have MS, and there'd be days where they can't go to school or days that I have to pick them up early.
Yeah, because the bus these days are horrible, you guys. The bus, there's so much going on the bus. Just think back to what was going on the bus when you were a kid. And now the bus, the things that were going on the high school bus are going on an elementary bus now. And it is shocking. I just put a child through the public school system from 5 until 18, and wow, it blew my mind, the things that she had to deal with on a daily basis.
Oh, and there's so many bullies and stuff.
You're absolutely right.
And answer this. When a child is in your car, you have to buckle them, right?
Yeah.
How come there's no seatbelts on a bus?
Yeah. I don't understand that either. There's never been any seatbelts on a bus. And some bus drivers are cool, according to the kids, and will let the kids just walk all over the place on the bus.
That's not even safe. I picked up Dawn the other day, and there was an accident. Some car hit the bus. So they had to bring another bus to pick up all the kids. So I'm like, they should have seatbelts in there.
I agree. 1,000%. It's super hard for parents with chronic illnesses to deal with schools. Yes. And it's also super hard with parents who have children with those, not necessarily chronic, but debilitating illnesses, that they just don't understand. Sometimes you can't get them out the door in the morning because they're having a meltdown and they need 15 minutes, or you don't want to drag them in there just crying and snot everywhere. And there's no leniency when it comes to public school. You are a bad parent if you can't get them there on time. You're a bad parent if they miss and you don't have a doctor's note. It's so hard. The struggle's real.
Oh, definitely. And, I'm lucky here in Utah, but when I lived in Colorado, if you miss so many days, they call the cops on you and you would get a truancy ticket.
Oh, I've been to court twice with both my kids. I went to court with my daughter, Gabrielle, and I went to court with Gage. And with Gabrielle, they put her on a probationary period, and she couldn't miss any more days after that. And with Gage, I ended up just withdrawing him from school and starting him in homeschool, because in our state, you don't have to start school until you're 7. So I just whipped him out and was like, you know what? I'm done with this. I don't want to deal with y'all's system anymore. And if he was after 7, they could have put me in jail for doing that. Like he can't be taken out of one school here without being in another one.
That's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry, Beverly. How old is your child?
Yeah, I took mine out of public school. He got bullied also because he liked things like My Little Ponies and would talk about that on the bus, and other kids would make fun of him. So I only let him ride the bus like twice and was like, "Oh no, we ain't doing this."
Well, see, and my kids, I've told them, if you being a nerd is a good thing because they'll be making money while all those bullies are going to be flipping burgers.
I say the same thing. I tell them it's the same thing. I said, you will own the restaurant and they will be flipping the Krabby Patties.
Oh, definitely. So when they get called nerds, they're like, thank you. But
And
here,
I hate how they
don't
want
really deal with it.
I hate how they always have a professional at the school that they want your child to see, and they disregard the professionals they've been seeing their whole lives, but they just want to make sure that he's been diagnosed right. They would like their psychologist to see him. They want their counselors to see them. They want to pull him out of class for their therapist. I'm just like, wow.
Definitely. I know the guy I'm seeing, he has a 6-year-old. And they told him that he needs to be put on medication because he's really active. And I'm like, he's 6. What 6-year-old isn't active?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And sometimes they'll force you to do it. Sometimes they'll say, listen, this is neglect if you don't get this child on some kind of medicine. And these are people that aren't even have any kind of medical degree whatsoever, but they get to decide whether or not your child is calm enough to not need medicine. It's just so messed up.
Oh, it is. The schools shouldn't have that much say in how you're parenting.
I agree. 100%.
Unless, you're beating your kid or whatever. But, I mean, they shouldn't force you to do things.
Well, I don't know if statistically kids with autism get abused more, which is a strong possibility. But I know that every time my son goes to his special autism doctor that he only gets to see twice a year. But when he goes and they weigh him and they get his height, they ask him if he's being fed at home and if anyone is hurting him at home every single time. And when he goes to the doctor, to get his well checkups, the doctor doesn't ask him those things. So I always get offended. But then, on the hindsight, I always tell myself, well, what if statistically kids with autism, since they're nonverbal mostly, and not high functioning like Gage, maybe they get abused more and they have to do that. And that's their way of, getting a handle on that. So who knows?
That's so sad.
It is.
My friend Tori has a son with autism and he definitely needs help. And she's never laid a hand on him.
It's just hard to accept the fact that your kid might be on the spectrum. So a lot of women are in denial in the beginning, and it's sad because the kid doesn't get the necessary help that they need. My son needed help way before I came to terms with it, because 2 years prior to his diagnosis, all my friends were telling me, I think he has autism. And I'm like, whatever, you're hating. It was just, I didn't want to accept it. And then I finally knew, after him being my 5th child, and that all the other ones did things this certain way, and his was totally different. And so I went and got him tested, and lo and behold, he's on the spectrum.
I'm kind of wondering if my son Dominic is. They told him he had ADHD, and he gets angry and he withdraws and things. I'm kind of wondering if I should get him tested.
Well, they do say that kids with high functioning autism, the verbal ones and the ones that are more active on the higher end of the spectrum, that they get misdiagnosed a lot with ADHD. And either they get misdiagnosed by saying that they just have ADHD and they actually have the Asperger's or the high functioning autism. or they have both and only one is picked up on.
I wish I would know what was going on with him, because he gets into like rages and he smacks his brother and he punches. I mean, he put a hole in the wall.
What about any kind of repetitive behavior? Does he do anything does he like move his hands any, or does he blink his eyes a lot or clear his throat a lot? Anything like that?
No, he does that thing with his leg. Like he always has to move his leg.
Yeah, the tapping of the leg. Yeah, it's worth a shot. And what happens is you just tell his regular doctor that you would like to see if he is on the spectrum. And then they give you a referral to a psychiatrist, because a psychiatrist is the one that diagnoses that. And they give you a piece of paper with a bunch of questions about him. They give one for you to give to the teacher. And then I think the doctor fills out one. And with all three of you filling out the paper, they come together with like numbers and stuff, and they'll tell you from that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to talk to his doctor. I'm supposed to take him to get checked up next week because of his meds that he's on. So,
Tammy, that's good to know. Thank you for telling me that. And Becca, I love the fact that we have that in common. Someone to relate to me when it came to, like, you were the only one of my friends that understood even the word autism when I found Gage's diagnosis. Rages and nervous meds help a lot, Julie. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 16. I'm 41 now, and I've been with my company for 20 years. I'm a graphic designer, and working on multiple jobs throughout the day lets me keep my interest. Pilot Pete, I know what you mean. I have ADHD too, and I use it to my advantage. I get a lot of stuff done. I'm a multitasker. Sometimes it's blissful chaos, but it works for me.
Dominic told me that it's like having a computer open with like 100 tabs that he just keeps clicking through. Like he can't just focus on one thing.
Yeah. And so it's definitely worth getting looked into.
Yeah, especially now that you said that sometimes it's misdiagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather get him the help he needs than just sit back and just be like, oh, he has ADHD. I mean, especially with his anger issues.
Still flaps his hands, Tammy. I think he'll always do that, especially when he gets excited. But it's adorable. But he's super smart. I mean, super smart. And he walked on his tiptoes like the first 2 years of his life. My adopted grandson, who is low function, is 9 years old. In fact, today we had a special IEP this morning because the district wants to take OT services away. Oh, no, Judy. That is awful. See, and it's crazy whenever budgets get cut that they take from the kids with IEPs first. That's ridiculous. Those kids should not be affected at all.
What's an IEP?
It's like, okay, so some kids can't sit still in school. So if you can get your kid an IEP, his IEP might say that he can stand up while he's doing his work, and they make him like a desk where he's standing all day instead of sitting. Or his IEP might say that he has struggles with this, and that they, it's something that they work with doctors, teachers, you, and professionals to like bend the rules for their education in a way.
I had something like that for Dominic last year because, like I said, he rages. Mm-hmm. And so whenever he was getting angry, he had like a permanent pass to the counselor.
Yeah, it's like IEP. I think they call it 504, maybe might be another word for it.
individualized education plan.
Yes, that's the actual word for it. But yeah, what I told you is the definition.
I like that name Ezra too.
Yes, Ezra. She loves that baby. Yeah, so it's just something that is made just for the student. I love it.
I should check into something like that for Dom.
Yes.
And do that again this year.
Is awesome. Because if Gage went back to public school, I would do that. I would say you've got to let him stand up to do his work, because he doesn't do, like when he sits in a chair, he wants to lean back or move, but when he stands up, he'll stand still.
Yeah, Dominic is always sitting on his feet at the desk. And I'm like, Dominic, you're like 5'2". You need to sit on your bottom.
Thank you, Tammy. A 504 is something like an IEP, but it's more directed towards what they're going to do with their diagnosis and their medical plan.
Oh, okay.
But they give you all this information when your child's diagnosed, and then they just throw you out there and you have to go buy books on it. You have to do your own research. There's no like education or pamphlet. It's just crazy. So it leaves moms just sitting in awe, wondering what the next step is.
Yeah. And they kind of did that to me with my MS. I had to read up on it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was just like, oh, here, you have this diagnosis. Good luck. And I'm like, oh my God, I had to go to the library and check out a bunch of books on MS so I knew what to expect and what was going on.
And that's what I strongly recommend with anyone's diagnosis, that you check it out in the DSM-5, then you look up books on it. I see that Julie said boys seem to get autism more than girls. Well, not with the high functioning kind. There are lots of women that have high functioning autism, but we are good at masking it. We are good at looking at society and everyone as a whole and figuring out how we're supposed to respond and how we're supposed to act when someone is hurting or angry or upset. Men don't end up mimicking those things. So we can learn to mimic. We're good at masking.
Oh, definitely. Tammy, is he okay? Or she? I'm sorry. My youngest is 2 times kidney transplant patient. Oh my goodness.
Yay. I love Tammy. She's awesome.
That's true, Julie. I heard that too when I got diagnosed, because I was living in Colorado. But I also have 2 cousins that have lupus. And so I told them they need to go get tested for MS because they may have been misdiagnosed. But they refused to. So
bless.
I think they're scared to get the MS diagnosis.
Isn't she a star, Janine? Brandy, we love having you on. I am going to wrap everything up, you guys. I would stay on here all night long. I promise you I would, if I didn't have 2 sink full of dishes and a couple of things I want to finish up with some attendance work that I got to log before midnight on Gage's homeschool. So I hate to rush off, but we have enjoyed having Brandy on here. Girl, I love having you. You better be ready to become a regular.
Oh, definitely. I like being on.
Well, I'm bringing you back for What's Up Wednesday next Wednesday, if that's okay.
Oh, definitely.
And then, if you find out anything that I don't find out about some of the other cases, you're more than welcome to share it.
Oh, thank you. I'm kind of immersed in this Harley case, though.
I know. That's the way I am with my cases, too. I like to really dive deep into one instead of a whole bunch. I'm the same way, girl. Same exact way.
I've even been messaging Critical K to find out if she's found out anything that she hasn't put into the group.
Yes,
I mean,
girl. Yeah.
I'm like all about this case.
If you
I just hope he's found safe.
Critical K is the one to get it from. When she's She's got a really good team that is good at reaching out to these people. I mean, they must be good at handling themselves because they get so many relatives and close friends to talk. So I have a lot of respect for her channel.
Well, you got to see that live that she just came out with. All of you should watch it. It is kind of funny because she really rags on them, and she even puts up posts that say there was one that called her a bitch. That one was really funny.
Well, we need to like uplift each other as creators. We have enough trolls in the chat that we should like at least have an alliance with one another and ban with one another and be like, okay, it's like YouTube content creator etiquette that you don't slander another YouTuber. I mean, I just think that they should implement that and there would be less drama going on.
Exactly. And I've always said that, like, creators, like even me having a blog, I mean, I'm a creator.
Yes, you are.
We should all respect each other. You know?
They all have the nerve to get up here and do this. So that should get them some kind of respect, right?
Or even, you know, all the time and effort they put into their stories. And, you know, especially with true crime. You know, even Harley, I mean, he put in a lot of time with his gaming, you know?
Yeah, my son does that.
It was funny because he's so much on social media and he shares so much that Kay called him a 14-year-old Shannon Watts.
Oh, my son does that too. Of course, I'm not going to share my son's YouTube channel because I don't want my trolls going to mess with him. But yeah, he does. He plays games on there and talks while he's playing the game. So I just can't imagine something happening to this little boy, and this mom is just so
Well, see, and he was even doing videos with his shirt off. And he was like, why isn't she, you know, watching him better? Because that right there is like pedophile candy.
I agree. Even though, you know, boys, my son says that all the time. Boys can go without their shirts. You can't. He likes to tell girls that. But I would delete a video if I saw it on YouTube, even if he was able to make it and upload it without me knowing, even though he can't upload videos without me. But if he was to sneak one by and I saw that it was up, even if it was later, I would delete it. And the fact that she didn't delete it says something too.
Oh, yeah. He's got a lot of videos with him without a shirt. You guys should check out his channel. It's Harley Dilly 2.0. It's his
Here, let me
one.
type that here. Harley Dilly 2.0. Okay, so he made a new one after his other one?
Yeah, his other one that was Harley Dilly, he said, rest in peace, Harley Dilly, before he started this one.
Okay.
But you can see how amazing he is. He's a creator. I mean, he's actually going to go far if he, you know, keeps it up. So.
Oh, well, we'll all say a little prayer, send positive vibes, or just, you know, just think about him for a second sometime this evening. Harley Dilly, bring him safe home, you guys. We're all praying for the best and hoping for the best if you're a non-believer, and just know that if you guys have a story that you want to share, just like Brandy, every Saturday we have a new story to share. So if you would like to come on, you can come on just like Brandy is. You don't even have to have a picture if you don't want to. It's just going to use the default picture that you sign up with, and you can come on with just your voice. If you don't even want to use your voice, you could type out your survivor story and I can read it on a Saturday, and you can just be hiding in the chat. But if you can ask me and Brandy right now, it is very healing to talk about these things and to get it off of your chest, and to know that people want to hear your survivor story, and that you might just help one person by sharing it.
I was really nervous when I shared my story, but the chat helped me with all of your guys' questions and all of your uplifting comments. It made me feel so much better. And it's like I told you, Mama, it's like euphoria. You feel so much better because you get it off your chest and other people are receptive to what's going on with you. So, you know, I think somebody should come on and share a story.
Yes. And it's almost like if you can get through it, even if you cry or don't cry, you feel like you got through it stronger that time. Like every time you tell that story, you're stronger and there's going to be less tears involved and more strength.
Well, I feel like I was able to keep it together because usually I cry.
Yeah, and that's what I did when I told one of my stories and didn't cry at the end. I was like, yes, I am not a victim anymore. I didn't cry. This is great. Oh, I was just so proud of myself. So, and even if you do cry, you'll know that the next time you tell the story, you won't cry as much. It really is healing.
Oh, definitely.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you everyone for listening to us, and we will see everybody tomorrow night for True Crime Thursday.
Definitely, and I'll be back on Wednesday.
Yes, you will.
Hopefully, I'll have some good news.
Yes, hopefully. Fingers crossed for Harley. All right, sister. Well, I'll talk to you later. Bye, YouTube. Bye.
Bye, everybody.